Hello my darklings, it's me, Cherry. Thanks for coming back again. Today we are going to go through the list of things that I recommend to watch for August 2019. I typically split this out into TV shows, movies, and other. This month we just have TV shows and movies. So let's go ahead and jump right into the list of TV shows for August 2019. Our first four selections come from the streaming platform Netflix. First up on our list is a comedy called The Good Place. Both seasons 1 and 2 are available for streaming on Netflix right now. This is the story of a woman who dies and finds herself in heaven. However, as time goes on, she comes to realize she thinks she's been put in the wrong place. It is a story I thought might get stale after a while, but they actually do a great job of keeping it fresh. It is extremely entertaining, and Kristen Bell is the main actress, and I really enjoy her work. So if you are looking for a short episode, each episode's only about 30 minutes. So if you're looking for a quick, fun comedy, I would highly recommend The Good Place on Netflix. Next up is a Netflix original, Stranger Things. Should be no stranger to you if you're watching this and you know me. Season 3 recently came out. It was at the beginning of July. I believe it was actually released on Independence Day. And I really enjoyed season 3. I really ran through it pretty quick, and it just got better and better. Another story that could have gone stale, but instead of getting more predictable, it became less so, and the characters still managed to develop, and the story still maintains its wow factor. So season 3 of Stranger Things on Netflix is available now, and I definitely recommend you go check it out. Third up on our list is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, another Netflix original. Season 2 came out this summer, and they have really taken the story to another degree. While season 1 seemed to lay a solid foundation for our characters and the premise, season 2 has expanded greatly on the plot and has set it up for season 3 to do the same thing. So I am really excited to see what happens to Sabrina, and highly recommend for anyone who is a fan of the first season to check out season 2. And if you enjoy dark comedy and suspense and with a supernatural twist, I would recommend checking out The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. Fourth and final on our Netflix list is Love, Death, and Robots. This is an anthology series that was created for Netflix, and each episode is only maybe 10 to 15 minutes long, but all of them are done in a different animation style, and all of them have different themes and different genres. So you can go from comedy to horror to sci-fi to suspense. They're all done by different people, so each story is unique, and each is equally intriguing and entertaining. It's something that is a great option for any fan of those alternative genres. So a sci-fi fan would like it, a horror fan would like it, a suspense fan would like it. The animation styles I don't feel like detract from the story. I think each story's style is perfectly chosen. So if you're interested in a quick episode anthology series, I highly recommend Love, Death, and Robots. Our fifth choice on the shows list comes from Sling, and that's just how I watch it. It is actually available on FX On Demand. It is the show Pose, and season 2 is currently wrapping up airing. It will be done airing quite soon. And this is a unique drama based in the world of the late 1980s and in the New York ballroom scene. So it deals closely with the dramatic issues of the time surrounding drag, the drag world, gay and lesbian culture, and the AIDS epidemic, and the families that were created in that culture, and how important it was to the members who may have been disowned from their families and were looking for a place where they could belong and embrace their new lives and their true selves and their sexuality. And I find it is equal parts uplifting and heartbreaking, because that seems to be the way of that world. It was enlightening and difficult at the same time. You know, they still faced a lot of prejudice and a lot of social barriers, but at the same time they created this ballroom culture and participated and competed and found ways to express themselves and to embrace their uniqueness and show their talent and what they were passionate about. So I find this series to be lavish and beautiful visually. The stories are very real and very heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. The characters feel real, and their stories also feel real and are very well acted. And if you have any interest in learning a little bit more about the ballroom culture from the late 80s in New York City, or just enjoy the current resurgence of drag culture, or are just looking for a solid drama, I would highly recommend checking out Pose. Season 1 is actually available for streaming on Netflix right now, and Season 2 is just finishing up airing. It is on FX on demand. You can watch it via Sling, which is how I do it. Otherwise, I'm sure it's available on other mass streaming platforms as well. Sixth up on our list comes from Hulu, and it is their original series called Harlots. Season 3 is currently in process of being run, and I very much enjoy this series. It is based in a true historical time. It took place in London in the late 18th century, but obviously it is more of a historical fiction with original characters. It follows the story of a family whose business is harlotry, and tells the story of how they work to survive and care for each other and deal with their rivals in the harlot business. The show really gives us a clear view of the good, the bad, and the ugly side of this trade in the late 18th century in London, England. I enjoy following the stories of the characters, and I highly recommend the show for anybody who enjoys period dramas or suspense, as this series has plenty of both. Last on our TV show list comes from Crunchyroll. It is an anime called Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? This is a fantastic anime find that just sort of dropped into my lap out of the blue, and follows the story of a boy named Belle. And in essence, the story goes, boy meets girl, girl saves boy, boy decides he's going to be just as good as the girl, and does everything in his power to get as good as she is. Boy fails repeatedly, but boy never gives up. And season 1 is available in its complete form on Crunchyroll right now. Season 2 is currently airing. They're doing what they call their simulcast, so you can kind of watch it as it airs in Japan. I enjoy the anime style. I enjoy the sort of RPG feel to it. It's basically adventurers who tackle levels in a dungeon. They gain levels. It feels like Dungeons and Dragons made into an anime. So I would really recommend it for anybody who enjoys that fantasy RPG world. It is funny. It is heartwarming. It's action-packed. And any anime fans, I think, would really enjoy it. Next up is our movies list. And first on this list is something you can check out on Netflix, and the title is Movie 43. And this movie was released in 2013 and actually consists of quite a few different stories. It's an anthology, and it's hard to describe in words, but it is chock full of stars that you would recognize. The stories are funny. I found myself laughing out loud repeatedly, and it's very unexpected. So if you're in the mood for something anthology-like, I would definitely recommend checking out Movie 43 on Netflix. Next up from Netflix is the movie Soul Searching, which came out in 2015. And actually tells the story of a group of teenagers from 1986 who participated in something called the Soul Summer Program. Basically what it was foreign-born teenagers of Korean ancestry were invited to come to Seoul, Korea, for the summer to learn about their heritage. And of course everything goes horribly wrong, because you don't invite a bunch of teenagers to a country across the globe and expect that they're going to behave themselves. But it is a cute comedy. It has some good acting and an entertaining story, and I love anything that's based in the 80s because I'm an 80s baby, so I can't help it. But yeah, it's a really cute comedy, so definitely check it out if that floats your boat. It's called, again, Soul Searching, and it's available on Netflix. Third on the list is available on FX On Demand. Personally, I watch it on my Sling subscription, and it is the 2017 movie Happy Death Day. It is not your typical murder mystery story. It follows a girl named Tree and her birthday, and what happens to her when she finds herself being stalked by a murderer. And it's kind of cool. If you haven't seen previews for it, it's basically Groundhog's Day with a murder mystery twist. So she has to try to figure out who is killing her, and comes to find out that she doesn't have an unlimited amount of redos before she needs to figure out what's happening. So her tenacity is fun to watch, and it's fun to try to figure out who is after her and how she's gonna solve it next time. It's also fun to see all the different ways that a single person's day can go horribly, horribly wrong. So if you are up for a slasher flick with a twist, I recommend Happy Death Day. and that's available on FX on demand, and you can catch it on Sling if you have that subscription. Last up on the list comes from Stars, and it is the 2007 movie titled Return to the House on Haunted Hill. Yes, this is technically the sequel to the 90s remake House on Haunted Hill, which is one of my favorites actually. I really enjoyed the original Vincent Price film. I also enjoyed the 90s remake, and while it certainly didn't stand up to the same caliber, this sequel featured some excellent effects work, visual effects, practical effects, makeup effects. They did quite a good job. It was clearly a B movie, acting wise, plot wise. It was pretty weak, but it still had the same chilling atmosphere of the first movie, the remake, the 90s House on Haunted Hill, and the effects work was excellent. So if you are in the mood for a really nice looking B movie horror flick, I would highly recommend Return to the House on Haunted Hill, available right now on Stars. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for coming back and joining me. Please leave me a comment or any questions you might have below. Hit that thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe. Don't forget to tap that bell, and please stay lovely. I'll see you next time.